and that they're not going to go vote for Biden. And look, he installed these justices who are still looking at abortion. I mean, the idea that they have 2 cases right now in the Supreme Court again, and they had said they weren't going to keep going on abortion, and we see very clearly they're going on abortion. And we see these Republicans, talking about birth control pills, coming for birth control pills. I mean, this far-right contingent, these evangelicals are not satiated. They want more. No. And if Trump wants to give them more, he's going to alienate all the swing voters. So
Isn't it crazy that, like, the Democratic Party cannot capitulate to the left-wing loonies and the left-wing crazies ever? What did the left-wing loonies and the crazies want? Healthcare for all. Free college education. You know what I mean? For everyone to pursue a life of dignity. What do the right-wing loonies want? To kill you if you even think about having a abortion. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's like, to jail mothers, to jail doctors who offer abortions. Like, yet the right wing is perfectly fine with capitulating and caving to them to a certain degree. There is no equivalence in this country. There's no moral equivalence in this country. It's ridiculous.
He's really painted himself into a corner.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis live.
But yeah, Trump signaling 15 weeks. What does Ben Shapiro have to say about this, by the way? I would like to hear from him. We haven't heard from him in a minute. I want to know going on in the world of Benny Boy, in the world of Benny Hanna. Let's see. Ben Sharpino. How radicals erode reality. Trump calls Biden high. How to make your first 1 million. Wait, why does Ben Sharpino not have any videos on this? That's interesting. Why is Ben Sharpino not talking about the new abortion stuff? Where's the abortion video, Ben? I want to hear your take. Does he have does he have a tweet or something? Maybe we can, because whenever I hear about stuff happening, I'm always thinking where's Benny Boy? What does he have to say about this?
And herein lies my problem with Donald Trump's message on abortion. So President Trump, y'all know that I'm a supporter of President Trump's. I've given money to his campaign. Donald Trump is taking a position on abortion that is eminently politically pragmatic. His position on abortion is that this is a state's issue, that this should be delegated to the states. Now, you could say 2 things about this. One would be moral, and one would have a real moral problem attached to it. The one that is moral is to say, yes, abortion is wrong. Yes, abortion is a great sin against God, against man. It's
like Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? Abortion should be rare, safe, and legal. Okay, thanks. I guess you've arrived at the Hillary Clinton position. What's happening?
Terrible thing.
By the way, of course, Ben Shapiro is an Orthodox Jew. There is no religious reason for Ben to be this ride or die for restricting abortions. There is one reason, though, and that's called money and clout. And he is a dog to the white evangelical Protestant Christian fascists in this country. And that is why he sits there and talks consistently about abortion.
Abortion is horrific. Also, the federal government of the United States has delegated powers. Those delegated powers typically do not extend
Mr. Christcock
into state criminal law with regard to things like abortion. The Supreme Court has kicked this back to the states and has made fairly clear in its own decision-making that it does not want the federal government sounding off on this. Not only that, we have pragmatic concerns about pushing forward a significant piece of abortion legislation in a highly divided country at a time when the country appears to be splintering. Thus, for pragmatic, not moral reasons, for pragmatic reasons, we wish to kick this back to the states so that there can continue to be a building of a coalition.
So, wait a minute. So abortion is murder, but it's okay to murder in some states? Is that what's going on? Am I led to believe that Ben Shapiro thinks abortion is murder, but some states are going to murder and we just have to be pragmatic about how much murder is allowed in blue states? It's okay to murder people. It's okay to murder millions of babies, Ben. I thought this was genocide happening. I thought this was every year there's another Holocaust on the unborn children. What happened, Ben? What's going on, Ben? It's pragmatic.
Lessons around a stronger abortion position federally. That it takes time to actually get most Americans to accept a more moral position. And that on a pragmatic level, if you want a more pro-life country, you need to take that time to do it. And that is why I'm not supporting an immediate piece of significant abortion legislation, because the country is simply too divided. But when the opportunity presents itself, of course, from the executive level, I will do what I can to prevent abortion. And of course, I am personally pro-life and hope for a time when the American people are ready to accept an elected government that would, in fact, ban abortion, right? That would be the moral position, because that distinguishes between two different types of rights that we've talked about a lot on the program. One is
interesting. Just like a little bit of murder is fine, dude. We're just too divided, I think, on this murder stuff. Dude, you guys don't get it. One day Americans will understand that it's murder, and then we can, then we can advocate for what is possible. I think abortion is murder, so I'm full blown. I'm a honest and consistent conservative. I'm much more ride or die than Ben is here. He's like, oh, well, we got to win the hearts of minds of these baby killers,
is a moral right, and one is a legal immunity. Those are not the same thing. A moral right is the idea that, for example, in the United States, I do not have a moral right to say the N-word, to take an obvious example. There's no moral right, because it's not like a good thing to say.
Oh, he's hitting the dude white boy swag right here. The comparison to the dude debate pervertry all day, every day, baby.
The N-word. It's a bad thing. I do have the legal right to say the N-word because you don't want to delegate to the government the ability to crack down on speech. And any government with the power to crack down on somebody saying the N-word also has the capacity and power to crack down on things that actually are good, necessary, and truthful.
By the way, this argument literally extends to the entirety of the abortion conversation, not just blue states, dumb. Oh, I personally think abortion is murder, or I think abortion is bad and immoral, but everyone should be able to have it if they need it.
And when you're talking about delegating powers to the federal government, you have to be very careful about which powers get delegated to the federal government, including in the realm of criminal law, right? That would be the distinction. So abortion can be extremely wrong. And also, because of the extraordinary diversity of the United States and the internal fissures of the United States, it is difficult to pragmatically find a piece of... Now, listen, I disagree with him positionally. I think that on a federal level, you could push a piece of 15-week abortion legislation. This is Mike Pence.
I just rewatched your video on Ben reacting to the Roe leak yesterday. This is almost a recreation. Yep.
His proposal. He happens to be right about that. But if Trump wanted to make the pragmatic case for why he is doing what he is doing, you could do that and still do it morally, because you'd say you actually distinguish between the moral and the pragmatic. The problem with Trump's statement on abortion is that he takes a relatively morally unclear stance on abortion itself. And that's a problem. So here's his statement yesterday.
My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart or, in many cases, your religion or your faith. Do what's right for your family and do what's right for yourself. Do what's right for your children. Do what's right for our country and vote. So important to vote. At the end of the day, it's all about will of the people. That's where we are right now, and that's what we want, the will of the people.
Okay, so this is the part where I have serious moral differences with President Trump on this matter. Okay, when President Trump says it's about the will of the people, no, it really isn't. It really is not about the will of the people. That is a bad answer. That's a bad answer because if the will of the people were to enshrine slavery in a particular state, obviously we would not allow it. This was actually, it was a position taken by Stephen Douglas during the Lincoln-Douglas debates. The position of Stephen Douglas during the Lincoln-Douglas debates prior to the Civil War was what he called popular sovereignty.
In 2019, Ben's take on abortion is directly connected with a strange interpretation of the Declaration of Independence. Life is a right. In fact, unlike abortion, which is not a right, life is specified directly in the Declaration of Independence, as well as the 5th and 14th Amendments, and remains the most fundamental right of all. Hashtag abortion is a woman's right. Hashtag abortion is a woman's right. I guess there was a hashtag that was going on at the time, and he's responding to it. He's just using a trending hashtag at the time. Yeah. No, Ben is a staunch supporter of abortion. Yeah, it seems to me like he is.
The idea was that if a state wanted slavery, it could vote to enshrine slavery. And if a state didn't want slavery, it could vote to not enshrine slavery or to ban slavery. That is a not good moral position. Now, again, you can make a pragmatic case for the Stephen Douglas position on abortion by simply saying This is the structure of the federal government. And until such time as we have a full